What if I told you that the secret to abundance isn't about imagining endless checks or repeating financial affirmations? What if the real energy blocking your prosperity isn't out there in the world, but buried deep in something as unexpected as an unforgiven hurt? You've been hurt, let down, betrayed, abandoned, humiliated. We get it. But maybe no one's told you this. Every emotion you don't release becomes an energetic anchor, a vibration lock that stops life's flow from reaching you. Here's the secret few will say out loud. Forgiveness is a spiritual tool, a quiet kind of alchemy that breaks the invisible chains keeping you from abundance. We're not talking about the surface level forgiveness where you say, "I'm over it," but your heart still aches. We mean real forgiveness, one that comes from your soul and cuts through layers of ego, pain, and memory. It's the deeper act of freeing someone else so you can free yourself. Because every time you hold on to resentment, you're pouring your vital energy, your life force, your creative spark into reliving the past. While that happens, your present fades and your future stalls. This isn't a moral lecture or some cheesy self-help spiel. It's a profound insight about how forgiveness, vibration, and manifestation connect. You'll see why true forgiveness instantly raises your frequency, opens doors to synchronicity, and links you to realities where the impossible becomes real. We'll also dive into how ancient spiritual traditions, from Egyptian mystery to Hermetic wisdom, already understood that holding on to emotion is a form of invisible slavery, and how consciously releasing others gives you back the power to shape your own destiny. Throughout this, you'll realize forgiveness isn't about morals. It's a vibrational technology. You'll learn how resentment disrupts the flow of abundance, how the heart acts as a quantum portal for energetic opening, and how you can make forgiveness a personal ritual for freedom and renewal. So if you've ever wondered why, despite working hard, meditating, visualizing, or affirming, abundance still feels out of reach, this might be the message your soul has been waiting for. Because yes, you can be ridiculously abundant, but first, you have to let go. And in that quiet release, the magic begins. The word forgiveness has been so twisted by culture and religion that it's lost its true, deeper meaning. Today, it often sounds like weakness, submission, or letting the unforgivable slide. But in the ancient wisdom schools, forgiveness wasn't a favor you did for someone else. It was a sacred practice of energetic liberation, a vibrational surgery that cuts the unseen ties, binding us to suffering and lack. In ancient Egypt, the heart's energy was the soul's center of judgment. After death, the soul faced Osiris's tribunal, and the heart was weighed against a feather on Maat's scale. The requirement to pass into the afterlife. A light heart, not because you didn't experience hardship, but because you were free of bitterness. In other words, only those who forgave could move on. This isn't just poetic, it's a powerful symbol. Resentment, hatred, guilt, all of these weigh you down energetically, and more importantly, tie you to the person or situation you haven't forgiven through an energetic cord that drains you day after day, year after year. Toltec sages said every unresolved emotion is like a stolen ring of power. When you don't forgive, part of your energy stays trapped in that moment. This isn't symbolic, it's literal. That energy freezes, unable to fuel creation, manifestation, joy, or healing now. In Hinduism, samskara, unprocessed emotional impressions, are closely tied to karma. What you don't forgive, you relive. What you don't release shapes you, And what you avoid facing, you'll project again and again until you overcome it. Even early Christianity, before institutional twists, didn't teach forgiveness just as compassion for others, but as a path to personal salvation. Jesus said, "Forgive 70 times 7." He wasn't laying a burden on you. He was offering a formula for inner cleansing, because repeated conscious forgiveness frees your soul from the past, detaches it from what was, and reconnects it to the pure present where it can create fully. And in Buddhism, forgiveness isn't about ethics, but about freeing yourself from suffering. Buddha said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." From that view, forgiveness isn't forgetting or excusing. It's stopping the poison from flowing in your energy field. These traditions, though separated by time and place, agree on one key thing. Forgiveness isn't moral, it's energetic. It doesn't change the past, but it frees your future. Music. Now let's get to the heart of it. How does forgiveness connect to abundance? How can letting go of past emotions open the door to material manifestation now? To understand, we need to look beyond psychology and into the human energy system. Picture yourself not as a person or body, but as a river, a channel of universal flow. Through that river runs vital energy, inspiration, health, opportunities, money, love, and creativity. The river doesn't need anyone's permission to flow. It's just what it does. But each time you hold on to unresolved anger, each time you clutch an unhealed wound, each time you refuse to forgive, it's like dropping a stone in your channel. An invisible blockage, but real. It doesn't matter if you're smiling or pretending everything's fine. The water knows, your flow knows, the universe knows. Abundance isn't about morals, it's about frequency. And that frequency needs a vibration that's clean, balanced, open, not perfect, just free enough for the river to flow. When you don't forgive, you're resisting. You're holding on tight, tensing up, anchoring yourself. The universal energy, intelligent and alive, won't flow through tense channels. It flows to what's open, receptive, and clear. And what is resentment if not a hidden form of attachment? A vibrational cord tying your present to a past event. It's like planting flowers in soil full of debris. You might have the best seeds, but the ground is loaded with old memories, judgments, and stuck emotions. That's why forgiveness is so powerful. It clears the energetic field, and when the field is clean, matter responds. It's not magic, it's coherence. Picture someone trying to attract abundance. They visualize, meditate, repeat affirmations like "I am prosperous." But inside they're holding on to resentment toward an absent father, an ex, or even themselves. Those emotions are heavy frequencies that create disharmony in their field. So the universe hears mixed signals. One part says, "Give me more," while the other says, "I'm still fighting." The result? Nothing flows. And if something does come, it slips away. Because the dominant frequency isn't open, it's resisting. Now think about the opposite, someone who's done the deep inner work of forgiveness, cried when they needed to, and let go, not out of weakness, but from strength. That person vibrates differently, moves differently, their field is open, expansive, magnetic, and the universe, which doesn't reward or punish, but simply reflects, responds. Opportunities show up, doors open, people come, because abundance doesn't require effort, it requires space. And here's the fastest way to open that space: forgiveness. Not as some noble gesture, but as a radical act of self-love, saying, "I'm done using my energy to carry this burden. I'd rather use it to create. Forgiving doesn't mean saying, what happened was okay, but rather, I won't let it keep controlling my vibration. In that moment, something shifts, the channel clears, and what was held back starts to flow. We know forgiveness isn't just a moral or emotional choice. It's a vibrational process that clears your internal flow. But there's a deeper layer, forgiveness as a quantum activator, a tool that not only frees the past but rewires the reality you project into the future. To get this, we go back to a core metaphysical idea. Reality isn't fixed outside of you, but a field of possibilities responding to your inner vibration. Everything you experience, people, situations, patterns, is an expression of your dominant frequency. When an unforgiven emotion settles in your field, it becomes a vibrational anchor. It doesn't just weigh you down, it programs you. For example, carrying years of unforgiven romantic betrayal doesn't just drain you emotionally. It creates an unconscious expectation you'll be betrayed again. That expectation acts like an energetic antenna, sending signals to the quantum field, which reflects back experiences matching those signals. The result? You repeat the same patterns with different people and say, it happened again, but it's not coincidence. It's unresolved vibration. That's why forgiveness matters so much. It not only cleans your heart, but resets your quantum signal, changing the code you use to interact with reality. Here's the key. Forgiving isn't forgetting. That's a myth. You don't have to erase the memory of what happened. You need to change the emotional charge tied to that memory. When you can remember without pain, without reacting, without reliving the hurt, you've forgiven. When that happens, the field senses it. The frequency shifts, the signal changes, and so does the universe's response. Forgiveness also unlocks a deep paradox, the paradox of deservingness. Many want abundance but feel unworthy because they carry unresolved guilt, not just guilt toward others but toward themselves. Past mistakes, bad choices, self-betrayal. If you don't forgive that, how can you open to receive? Internally, you sabotage yourself thinking, I can't have more until I fix what happened before. So forgiveness isn't just for others. It's first and foremost for yourself. And that's the hardest part, because self-forgiveness means facing your shadows, failures, and choices, not with punishment but with responsibility, saying, that was part of my journey. I release it. Only then can a new story begin. One where you're not the victim, the culprit, or the forever penitent, but the conscious creator owning your power and choosing to let go. When that happens, something inside cracks open, the armor breaks, and light shines through. That light, once blocked by heavy memories, starts showing up as opportunities, people, synchronicities, even miracles. Because where there was judgment, now there's acceptance. Where there was resentment, now there's space. Space is the womb where abundance is born, so don't underestimate it. Forgiveness isn't passive. It's a bold, revolutionary act of quantum creation. It tells the universe, I'm ready to receive something new because I've let go of the old. Now that you get the quantum and energetic power of forgiveness, the big question is, how do you actually apply it in everyday life? Knowing isn't enough. You have to practice it, because forgiveness isn't a one-time event. It's a choice you renew daily, sometimes every hour. Like any spiritual power, forgiveness needs to be embodied and ritualized through your body and actions. Here are 5 powerful, practical ways to bring this wisdom into your daily life. First, write what you can't say. Unspoken words get stuck in your energy. If there's something you can't forgive, write an unfiltered letter. You don't have to send it. This is an alchemical act between you and the universe. Pour it all out. Anger, sadness, frustration. Cry if you need to. When you're done, close with a freeing statement. I release you and I release myself, not because I deserve it, but because I deserve peace. Then burn it, bury it, or toss it in water, a symbolic act of releasing invisible weight. Second, include forgiveness in your daily spiritual routine. Just like you meditate, affirm, or visualize, make forgiveness part of your energetic practice. Each night before sleep, say to yourself, I forgive all that tried to steal my peace today. I forgive my judgments, my fears, my reactions. I forgive myself for what I still don't know how to heal. This simple habit clears your field before rest and opens your vibration to receive. Third, recognize the wound behind your judgment. Whenever you can't forgive someone, ask yourself, what part of me was hurt? What need wasn't met? True forgiveness begins when you see that behind every judgment there's a wound, and behind every wound, a chance to heal. Fourth, avoid speaking badly about those you haven't forgiven. Words shape reality, and every time you speak with bitterness, you reopen an energetic cord to that person, draining your own vital energy. If you can't speak kindly, stay silent, not out of fear, but out of strength, knowing your vibration is too valuable to waste on what no longer serves you. Fifth, use forgiveness as a manifestation tool. Try this powerful exercise. Before asking the universe for something new, ask yourself, who do I need to forgive before I can receive this? Sometimes life isn't waiting on you to act, it's waiting on you to let go. When you do, doors that seemed closed open like magic. Forgiveness is an art, and like any art, it requires practice, commitment, and honesty. There are no foolproof formulas, but one truth stands. Whoever truly forgives becomes light, and what is light flies, and what flies goes higher and farther. Forgiving might seem simple, 2 words, 1 decision, but what happens in the invisible realms when you choose to let go is a magnitude only your soul can grasp. You've been taught wrong. You were told forgiveness means forgetting or excusing. No. Forgiveness means remembering everything and still choosing to release it. It means facing the wound and deciding it doesn't define you. It means understanding you aren't what happened to you. You're what you choose to be now. And in that deep, radical choice lies the seed of abundance. Because no one can manifest from a broken soul. No one attracts prosperity if they live in punishment, judgment, and resentment, not because the universe blocks it, but because the frequency doesn't match. Abundance is like a delicate dance. It needs space, openness, and flow. And forgiveness is the movement that clears the soul's floor, frees the energetic stage, and tunes your frequency to possibility. That's why those who forgive inevitably start receiving, not because they did something right, but because they stopped resisting. Today, you can make a decision that needs no outside conditions. You don't need someone else to apologize. You don't need life to be fair. All you need to do is declare from a place of power, I choose to let go of what binds me. I choose to release what weighs me down. I choose to open to what deserves to come in. When that choice is real, felt, and steady, the quantum field records it and responds. You'll notice subtle shifts at first, a surprise conversation, an opportunity, a new idea. If you keep releasing and clearing, those shifts grow, because abundance isn't a reward. It's a reflection of how much space you've made to receive. Forgiveness is the greatest clearing you can give yourself. Don't wait any longer. Abundance is ready. It's simply asking, are you willing to let go of the past to make room for the future? If this message hit home, part of you is already ready to stop carrying what isn't yours. So let this wisdom keep flowing. Subscribe to the channel to keep discovering spiritual tools that transform. Like this if something inside you sparked today. Share this video with someone who hasn't yet realized their key to abundance is in an act as quiet as it is powerful. Because yes, forgiveness will make you ridiculously abundant. Because those who free themselves inside receive without limits outside. And that might be the highest alchemy of the soul.